Hey, welcome back to the Vault of Cult with me, Chris.
And Mark, are you alright, gang?
I hope you're alright there, we're alright.
Yeah, we're alright, we're surviving.
So what are we doing here, Mark, today? What's this one about?
Well, we've got something actually a bit special, a bit out there, a bit something we've been talking about doing for a long time. We're doing a redo.
A redux.
A redux, to use the technical words, of our original podcast, which was...
The pilot.
Yeah, the pilot, which, as you know, was 2.5 hours long of rambling nonsense.
It was, listen, it was a pilot.
It was a pilot. We were piloting things.
Correct.
So what we're doing, we're going to give you two podcasts, two separate podcasts for what we think are two of our favourite films.
It is, it's no secret. We're doing Jurassic Park and we're doing Ghostbusters.
Yes, this one we're going to do Jurassic Park for you because that's my favourite film.
Another two-part special.
Another two-part special. So you've lots of pod in your pods. Do you know what I mean?
And we're trying to keep up the stats more than we used
exactly. We need the engagement.
We do, actually.
Perfectly honest with you. So, with the
YouTubes that we're on now, guys, again, we're on YouTube.
Those algorithms are being difficult with us, so here we are.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're giving you a little bit more. So, yes, we're doing Jurassic Park.
John Williams.
Great score.
Spielberg.
Oh,
before we get started, I said to you the other day, was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade Spielberg's last great film?
No, because...
But do you know what came after this? Saving Private Ryan.
So no, not even a bit. Not even a bit.
I think that was his last great film.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah. We just couldn't immediately think about it.
I looked into it
at that exact point. But yeah, obviously we've got this and we've got Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, but that was the tail end of, for me, a director, like I said on the last show, The Last Crusade.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes. Interesting things to talk about with this regarding his flow as to whether he was in it or not.
Let's get
with this particular. Let's do it.
So, first of all, like we always do, give us the box office
and some basic facts and some basic figures. Right, so it's got a runtime of 127 minutes, which is what, 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Them 7 minutes though are
credits.
Just credits.
Credits. So just over 2 hours.
And it doesn't drag. It doesn't. The pacing's fine.
Nothing about this film drags, and we'll talk about the pacing and everything about it.
Yeah.
For this kind of film, I think it's realistically an ideal length. An hour and a half would have been too short for this kind of film.
Agreed.
2 hours is about right.
That'll do. Give me a 2 hour film, that'll do.
Give me a 2 hour film now, 100%. It was released on the 11th of June, 1993.
Slightly earlier in America, a few days earlier.
Slightly earlier.
Preview version.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Yeah, it was.
San Francisco.
Hello.
Yeah. And obviously by Universal Pictures.
/ Amblin Entertainment.
Very important distinction.
Yeah. And a very famous entity.
Right. So I'll leave the director and everything to you. So Bouget, what's its budget? It had a budget of 63 million.
A lot of money then.
It's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
But this film had a lot to pay for.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, ambition.
It's a very ambitious film with what it was trying to achieve, what it was trying to show on
We'll get onto it again, but think of that they literally locked in the special effects in terms of the dinosaurs because they were initially stop motion.
Yes, well, we'll come on to that. I've got on a whole thing.
So the money, CGI cost money.
Like I've said before, it's bare peas, isn't it?
Bare peas.
So
you can double that and little bit more really. And you wouldn't dare make a film of this scale and ambition with 120 million quid nowadays.
No, it'd be well over that anyway. Well
Look
over
at
that. That 120 million nowadays, it wouldn't get yet half a Jurassic Park nowadays.
No, it wouldn't.
Do you know what I mean?
300 million, I think, one of the Jurassic Worlds.
Edgar, moving quite swiftly on from then.
How much did it make, though?
Budget, it made worldwide 914 million.
Fuck.
Shit a brick.
It's literally.
It was.
They have got the Golden Goose.
It was the highest grossing film at that point ever until Titanic had knocked it
which
off.
was 97.
1997, yeah. So no, wasn't at the top of the shop for that long, but
few years, mate. Wow.
Then again, if Titanic hadn't been the absolute phenomenon as a film it was, this would have remained at the top for a long time, I think. Because some other places...
Until the Phantom Menace.
Until the Phantom Menace in 1999. But we've done that. Is in a chip. We've done that as well. Done that. You won't get a redux of that one. It was decent. Facts. Right, so out of that 914, 357 million of that was domestic. So it's made a lot of money just in its own territory as it is. And then 557 million at the international box office. Huge numbers. Like, I can barely describe to listeners, for 1993, that would have been the amount of money rolling in for this film.
We'll double it and a touch more.
Do you know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
Fucking hell. It would have...
It was a phenomenon.
Would have blown Amblin and Universal's fucking socks off with this film. Yeah. They realised all of a sudden, like, whoa, what a franchise we have on our hands. So yeah, it immediately broke records, even on its opening weekend.
Yeah, well,
immediately broken. Made $50 million in its opening weekend.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Open it $50 million and it's basically made back. Besides 13 million quid, which for film studios is like wipe your ass money. Like, do you know what I mean? In its first weekend. So basically, after the first there was like from one theatre, I found, or one city. Yeah. On its first day, 2 million quid.
Fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, they must have just been show after show after show. Like every screen.
It was just bang, 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 bang. Every screen. Jurassic Park.
I seen it at the cinema.
Well, I did, and I was much too young.
I went with my mum and my nan, and I went with me. This was my youngest sister. Yeah, so it was a big thing. I remember it being a big thing, and the cinema being packed.
Right, and it was only a PG. Wait, we'll come to the fun facts, but I remember going and I was much too young. I was frightened senseless. I was 4. I was much too young.
Shall I say gory scenes?
Yeah, much too young.
Frightening.
I remember my dad coming, like, taking me back and was like, and saying to me,
"It's only a film, Mark.
It's fine. It's fine. It's only a film. Because I
well, you cried at the champ.
I know, but like I've cried out of fear for this one, not sad because his dad's just got battered to death. Do you know what I mean? It's a different thing. There's a different thing to cry over.
That's real easy. This isn't.
But
so huge hit.
So yeah, shall we get
Go on.
Oh, do you want to give us a director or anything like that?
Well, that's what I usually do.
Yeah, go on then.
As Steven Spielberg directed it, obviously director of such things as Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T. Just to name a few, like you say, produced by Universal Studios / Amblin Entertainment, but actually produced by Kathleen Kennedy. Fingerprints fucking all over everything.
She's all over everything.
And you know what, though, to be fair to what... Again, she's got a ridiculous producing credits. Gremlins, Goonies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
When people pick on Kathleen Kennedy now for her choices as CEO of the Disney, well, not CEO, the current MD.
She ran Lucasfilm, didn't she?
Yeah. And she'd get of Star Wars.
Yeah, she was the one saying yay or nay to all the Star Wars stuff.
As much as people may or may not criticise her decision making over that particular trilogy, what I don't think anyone, and some people who give bad faith criticisms, I think, make out that she somehow is a poor producer of things, and it's like, evidently that is not the case. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe past the peak of her powers.
She might be past the peak of her powers, but
when
her record speaks for itself.
It
do you know what I mean? She's a fabulous producer in her day.
Yeah, like I say, Gremlins, Goonies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, just to name, just a slack handful.
Yeah.
And Gerald Mullen, which he produced, Hook, Batteries Not Included, and Rain Man, to name a few.
Yes. Yeah.
The story was based on Michael Crichton's book. He's a very famous guy. He wrote the sequel. Or Universal made him write the sequel so they could make a second film.
He made him write The Lost World.
And he wrote Congo as well, about the monkeys.
Have you ever seen a thing called Westworld? He wrote that.
He did. It's a good film. Yul Brynner in the original.
Yes, it is Yul Brynner, yeah.
And
there's a
James Brolin
TV show.
Yeah, HBO.
Anthony Hopkins in it, right? Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I think he was in the first
hang on.
couple.
Were it Anthony Hopkins or were it Brian Cox?
Anthony Hopkins. Brian Cox is in Succession.
That's it. That's the thing. Anyway, thanks for that.
Yeah, but the screenplay, he adapted the screenplay with David Koepp as well. David Koepp, really famous writer in Hollywood. Dabbled with Death Becomes a Mission Impossible and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Sam Raimi.
Yes.
So his role, and even the Nolan trilogy had a hand in the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah. Prolific.
Yeah. Cinematography was by Dean Kunder, really famous cinematographer. Mainly, I only picked out these because I thought it was interesting. And I did actually, when I was doing a bit of research, thought, oh yeah, he works closely with John Carpenter. He was the cinematographer on Halloween, the original.
Okay.
The Fog and the Thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Stuff with the at the beginning.
He likes the.
I thought that was
the film. Is the
again, just coming to a close with some of the credits. John Williams did the music.
Yeah.
Legendary.
I think we'll come on to what we think about it, but everyone knows the Jurassic Park theme.
And ILM did the special effects.
Yeah, famously. So, shall I give them some fun facts to have fun with?
Yeah, let's.
It won Best Sound Editing, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects at the 66th Academy Awards. Deserved. But interestingly, and I'll come on to it in a little bit, I think it deserved more wins because it was knocked off of top place in many regards by another Steven Spielberg film, which he was working on. Schindler's List, which is not a bad film. I'm not about
never seen it.
It's a good film. It's a really good film. Interesting film. Interesting. It's very arty in its way, but by its use of black and white. It's all in black and white. The film. But just hints of colour.
Is it red?
It's red. It's a red coat. Really clever film. Not knocking it at all. Also really good soundtrack. Also really well acted. But I think a lot of the acting accolades and the
because this is the popcorn summer film, and that's the classic pick.
It's showing the bias that was certainly there then.
But it's about the fucking Auschwitz and all that, isn't it? So come on, touch your subject, and he's Jewish, and give it Spielberg. Spielberg.
Exactly. Right, but that's what it did. But interestingly, this was nominated for all of the exact same things at this Academy Awards. Just to link it back to last week's, as Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Those are the exact same if you listen back.
Oh shit!
To it. They were the exact same, and I'm like, interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, just weird little tidbit just for us. Do you know what I mean? Because we've just done a pod.
Yeah, interesting.
So as you already alluded to, originally the dinosaurs were going to be stop motion.
Yes.
Really good
Phil
stop
Tippett,
motion
really
by Phil
Tippett.
Yes. Didn't he do the stop motion for RoboCop?
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic stop motion in RoboCop. And
Tippy Topper, Phil Tippett.
Phil Tippett's Toppets. Like, you can still see some of the stop motion work for Jurassic Park if you go on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, and you can watch it, and there's parts of the kitchen scene, there's parts of the Tyrannosaurus coming out of its paddock scene.
All
you
right.
can still go and watch it. Really interesting, really good stop motion work, because they used a lot of the stop motion because they still had to pay Phil Tippett. So they used a lot of the stop motion to create the animation. So yeah, originally supposed to be stop motion.
Yeah.
But ILM basically, obviously George Lucas's.
They use him as a consultant for the movement of the creatures.
Yeah.
Or dinosaur, should I say?
Yeah, they use it. Yes, they did. Yeah. But ILM, obviously George Lucas's company, effects company, famously, always has a great relationship with Spielberg. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Best mates, aren't they?
Well, I think throughout the 90s, that after Jurassic Park, they were the go-to company.
Oh, absolutely, especially after
every
this.
Special effects film.
And they basically animated a T-Rex and showed it to Spielberg, and in his own words, he was absolutely blown away by it.
I've seen the test footage.
It's the test footage is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's super
It's like
interesting.
it's that and the Gallimimus they tested.
Yeah,
originally.
it's really interesting, and we don't often plug other things, but there's a really interesting documentary about the making of Jurassic Park on Netflix.
Oh,
you know the films that made us. The
first
episode.
It's cool series. That
good series.
They do the toys that made us as well.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I would encourage all of our listeners to watch it. To watch that. You know what I mean? Plug for Netflix. I know who needs it, but like it's just a really interesting thing. And the first episode's about Jurassic Park.
All right. I don't think I've watched that series.
Really good. Really good. So yeah, it was largely filmed in Hawaii. So the other side of the country from where the film is actually set. But filming was interrupted by an absolutely whack-off massive hurricane.
Wiped a load of shit away.
But, interestingly, a lot of the storm scenes, because there's a storm in the story, as you know, you've seen Jurassic Park. Who hasn't? Those are filmed on location by the...
Like, oh, this is the real storm.
By the crew, there and then, and I think that's it. That's a nice touch to it. Once you know that, you're like, that's a nice touch. It's not just stock footage of a storm. Do you know what I mean?
Serendipitous. That's what they say.
Yeah, serendipitous. It was serendipitous indeed. And linking to that, a scene with Samuel L. Jackson where he was killed. He had a death scene.
Oh, you don't see it. He gets killed off screen.
He gets killed off screen.
Just his arms left.
But we were going to see it, but the hurricane destroyed the entire set for that.
Oh, yeah. I had read it destroyed a set piece.
Spielberg were like, oh, we'll just fuck it off then. We'll just fuck it off. We're not doing it then. Samuel L. Jackson, they're like, oh, well, yeah, all right, we'll just cut half my scenes out.
Where's my motherfucking scene, motherfucker?
You know what I mean? Where's my scene? But Spielberg was famously had the ending changed so the T-Rex comes back into it at the end.
Weren't it just the raptors?
It was supposed to be just the raptors, and in the end... He wanted the T-Rex and...
Didn't they get impaled by the T-Rex skeleton?
Yeah.
In the foyer.
But he wanted that brilliant shot.
What an ending.
What an ending of that T-Rex roaring over the thing with the banner falling down.
And the banner was CG,
you know. The banner was CG. Brilliantly done. Fantastically done.
I still can't tell that banner's CG.
I've never been able to tell. I've looked and looked at the bloody thing. Never been able to tell. It's flawless.
And I didn't know it was CG until very recently.
No, I thought they filmed a banner and
did.
T-Rex behind it.
No, it's CG.
Yeah, no.
The banner wasn't there.
I know. Mental.
The wonders.
But he had to basically get them to do that in post-production while he was on set filming for Schindler's List in Poland.
Apparently,
literally on the other side of the world.
Yeah. I did read that.
On the other side of the world.
Yeah, he was editing it while he was working on Schindler's List. Yeah.
This is sort of like the peak period of Spielberg, though, where he just had job after job after fucking job to do. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? No
Don't forget though, he started with Jaws in '76.
Yeah.
And then all the way up to the mid '90s. So that's 20 years of just smashing these out and just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Again,
and he was widely considered to be the absolute best director in the world at that time. Anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone would see a Spielberg film.
Everyone would see it. Steven Spielberg is, of course, I think the only director possibly to this day who would have your Common Garden Joe Bloggs off the street who would go, yeah, that's a director. Oh, I'd see his film because he's got such name recognition.
Well, he created a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else has got that pull on the general public as a director. Directors, I think, to the general public remain a little bit of an anonymous figure.
You know, who's that?
Who's that? I'm not bothered.
Yeah, there is only a handful of directors.
Only a handful, like a Scorsese and stuff like that. I get it, but
Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, is another I would say.
But that's it, really.
Very few, anyway.
So those are a few facts to have fun with. But
interesting shit.
Here's the thing about Jurassic Park. The deeper you go into it, the more facts there are about the bloody thing. It's an incredibly production dense film. You could spend ages talking about how they made the animatronics, and you could spend ages about how they did the CG. You could spend ages doing how they made all the props. It's just, and it's all out there. It's all out there in documentaries like that.
Internet land.
And it's an incredibly dense film. So they're just a few base fun facts, but there's a million more.
There is,
millions and millions of more other facts out there about Jurassic Park.
So the cast.
Give us the cast.
So Sam Neill plays Alan Grant. Sam Neill, maybe he's one of these niche actors, but is such films as In the Mouth of Madness, Event Horizon, which is a really underrated sci-fi horror film, and obviously he come back for Jurassic Park 3. Laura Dern plays Ellie Sattler, which she's Sam Neill / Alan Grant's love interest. They're a couple in it. She was in Blue Velvet, which is a David Lynch film, really strange. She has a little cameo in JP3. She's in it for a little bit.
She does.
And she was in The Founder with Michael Keaton, and a really good film about the origins of the McDonald's. Really good film. And she was in Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, yeah.
Then it wasn't until I read that and I was like, I remember the character in it.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, Dr. Malcolm.
Dr. Malcolm, famously. The
Fly, Independence Day. And he was in Prince of Egypt.
He was in
Prince of Egypt. I did not know that. I was like, oh... Not letting you into a little secret, guys, but wait till next season.
Yeah.
Richard Attenborough plays John Hammond. He's in A Bridge Too Far. Miracle on 34th Street. Never seen it.
I fucking hate that film. Sorry, it's everyone's go-to Christmas film, but can fuck off. Do you know why I hate it?
Why?
That little girl.
Oh, the little girl.
Shut up! Shut up!
She's in Matilda. She's the daughter out. She's the daughter
out with Matilda and the daughter out of Mrs. Doubtfire. Shut up!
Bob Peck plays Robert Muldoon. He's the Raptors warden.
Yeah.
He was again tying into stuff we've done. He was in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. You know, they made a TV series of Young Indiana.
Yes.
Martin Ferrero plays Donald Gennaro, who's the suit, the lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer. Yeah. He was in Get Shorty, Heat, and Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
He was in Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Don't remember his character in that.
I don't, but I remember seeing it and I was like, oh yeah.
B.D. Wong plays Dr. Henry Wong, which is weird. He voiced the character in Mulan, and he was in Father of the Bride 1 and 2. Now, he's the guy. His story gets expanded more in the Jurassic World films.
In this is merely the geneticist who has created the dinosaurs.
The technology of how to create dinosaurs.
In this... Yeah, it's quite a small
He's in it for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's quite a small part.
When the raptor's been born.
Later films, he's much more of a villainous character.
Yeah. Sly bastard.
He's a bad guy.
Joe Mazzello plays Tim, who's John Hammond's
Can I just say quickly
grandson.
About the kids? One of the few films with a heavy amount of child acting in it, but don't mind me.
No, they're not.
They're not annoying.
They're not
annoying at all. Good use of your child actors.
I like this that Joe Mazzano, who plays Tim, has been in The Social Network, which is the Facebook film. He was in Bohemian Rhapsody. I can't remember what. I think he played. Who did he play? I don't know who he played in that. And he's in G.I. Joe Retaliation. I thought, oh, little G.I. Joe nod to myself. Big G.I. Joe fan. Ariana Richards plays Lex, again, John Hammond's granddaughter. She was in Tremors.
She was in Tremors.
I did not fucking know
she's
that.
I know the
little
Tremors with bouncing. And a lot of monster films, apparently. And
in the sequel, Tremors 3.
Tremors 3.
Interesting. And obviously, Sam Jackson, he plays Ray.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who he is, get to fuck. And then finally, from the main cast, Wayne Knight, who plays Dennis Nedry, who's the nefarious, he's trying to steal the DNA. That's the one who fucks it all up.
He's the stooge of a villain. In this? He
was in JFK, Basic Instincts, and Dirty Dancing.
It's not his line. It's a line that John Hammond says about him, and it makes me howl, crease with laughter every single time, because Nedry is a big man.
Yeah, he is.
And he turns to John Hammond, Richard Attenborough's character turns to the other people and says, "Fine, Nedry, check the vending machines." He basically just went, "Find the fat cunt. It's got to be somewhere. Have you checked the vending machines? It's always
the fat."
And it makes me howl every single time. Find him.
Do you know what? I brought this right just because we're talking about that character. You know, my favourite line in this film is Dodson's here. No one cares. No one cares. He's coming in all dead shifted. The guy gives him the canister to steal the dinosaur DNA.
Yeah.
He's just eating. He's eating. Yeah. Every time you see him, he's eating.
Ow, chuffer.
So the plot of the film.
Yes, the plot of the film.
So this is quite wordy for a synopsis. The film is set on the fictional island of Isla Nubla off Central America's Pacific coast near Costa Rica, where a wealthy businessman, John Hammond, his brother, Richard Attenborough, and a team of genetic scientists have created a wildlife park of de-extinct dinosaurs. When industrial sabotage, i.e. Dennis Nedry, with his fucking canister full of DNA, sabotage leads to a catastrophic shutdown of the park's power facilities and security precautions. A small group of visitors, including Hammond's grandchildren, struggle to survive and escape the now perilous island.
Yes.
Scary shit, mate.
Basically, yeah. It's a monster movie with no immediate way of escaping.
No, you're
isn't
trapped.
it? Do you know what I mean? You're trapped. You're trapped. And you're divided as well. That's an important. It's an important point. They get
at the same time.
They get split up from each other, and that's one thing that, by the way, that I absolutely love because we're in the analysis now.
Is that your notes?
Yeah, I only do brief notes, but right. One thing that I always do really enjoy about when you have a split narrative of when the main cast splits off with each other, sometimes you can have a film which doesn't knit together two halves. One ends up being worse than the other, or they forfeit one for the other. I don't think this film does that particularly.
It doesn't.
It focuses on both of the main groups, because basically there's Dr. Grant and the kids.
It's almost like in that structure, I know exactly what you mean, and the first thing I thought in my head is where trying to balance 3 and 4 character storylines, Lord of the Rings does it really well.
Yes, yeah.
It gives just enough time to move the story forward.
Yeah. The story is always being pushed forward, and that is one thing that I really like about this film. There isn't a wasted scene.
No, there's not. I agree.
There's not one single wasted scene.
Agreed.
I can't think of a single scene where I'm like, you could cut that out, because if you cut something out, there's something important later on that you'll either miss.
I agree. It uses its 2-hour runtime.
And it uses it very, very efficiently. I would say
efficiently. Pacing's really good.
I would say, although this might not be the most well put together of Steven Spielberg's films, because I have a few criticisms about some things, but I do think that this is possibly one of his most efficiently run films. bang, 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 bang. This scene, that scene, this scene, that scene. We go forward, move.
And you know what? It's a very, very good point, that, because like I did with the Last Crusade, I've listed the set pieces very similar in terms of escalation. Each set piece has got its own 3-part escalation. Yeah. It's just the fear's building, the tension's building.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
But great opening. I think the opening,
fantastic
opening with a shooter.
Oh, and I've always loved it. It always puts me in the mood to carry on watching the film. The boom, boom, boom.
Sounds great on my system.
Fucking good,
mate. It sounds great on my system.
Brilliant use of sound, generally. Oh, that's another thing about this film.
There's another fun fact. Yeah, I know. So I'll interject here.
Yeah.
So this was the first film to feature a new sound format called DTS.
Yes.
Which is digital theatre sound.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, at the time, they was having some sort of surround, but again, not getting too technical for the listeners, like 4.0, which is 4 speakers, left, right, and left, right, back. And and that was called Dolby Surround, but Dolby used a higher compression rate with their sound,
right.
So you get a more of a natural. And Spielberg wanted, because of the sound of the dinosaurs, he wanted it to sound unique,
yes,
and less compressed, and that's where this DTS, and it's a really well-known sound format now. Do you know what I mean? It's probably overtaken Dolby as the standard format for home entertainment type thing, or even cinemas. Do you know what I mean? It was the first film, and that had a DTS sound.
But
that's why it sounds so good.
The sound generally is fantastic.
What an Oscar!
And did win an Oscar. But just generally, the making of the sounds the dinosaurs make, so unique, fantastic.
They mix like 3 or 4 animals.
Yeah,
clever.
The sound of that T-Rex, iconic. That almost shout that the T-Rex give it. And
the cough of the raptors as well, when it's like a
Do you know what I mean? It's so good. It's so good. They've got throaty sort of thing that the raptors give. It's brilliant.
Yeah, they do. And even the what's that one with the fucking fan that spits the shit at him?
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, like a rat.
Do you know what I mean? Like a hiss. Spit. It's so good. It's
I did know that they kind of mix like a rattlesnake and a howler monkey and stuff like that.
Yeah,
sounds great. What an Oscar for it.
They had so many for the T-Rex. It's literally dozens and dozens of animals all mixed together.
But get that unique sound.
But to just go back to the story. You're right. With the set pieces, immediately you move from getting to the island, and you get your moments of wonder, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to get really deep really quickly here.
Okay. So,
what I noticed rewatching this film again for the show, right, and Hammond sums it up for me. Hammond is... So the film, for me, clearly is 2 halves of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Your first half an hour is, look what I've created, the sense of wonder.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you're in, when it all goes to shit...
It's literally when you hit the halfway mark as well.
And then it goes from... Look what I've created. Look how good. Look, I've brought dinosaurs back to life. And then, as soon as you hit the second half of the film, it turns from a sense of wonder to what have I created?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
A sense of danger.
We've got a real sense of danger as well.
Clever, and I haven't really analysed it and looked at it like that before.
Because, just a side note, the exposition. And you know how we feel a bit about exposition, generally
speaking. He's that character.
He is that. He's your exposition dump character. But I would say this film does that. It handles its exposition in one of the best ways that I've ever seen. It explains to people the important information that it needs to know. In a truthfully organic way.
But not even that. You're right. But Do you know where it sums up absolutely the most cleverest way possible to sum up the whole fucking thing is the Mr. DNA ride.
It's so good. That's what I mean.
Perfect.
Because
to explain to the audience, this is how we created dinosaurs in a fucking really bite-sized, super informative way.
Yeah, and it's
such a great
like,
device that mate. That Dr. DNA sequence. It's a great device to explain the whole plot.
Yeah.
It is
brilliant device. And
clever.
The entire audience, when you watch that, you're like, I'm on board. I understand.
I know where. I know how you've got from there to here now.
I fully understand. I get it. All right, cool. And it's plausible as well.
Yeah.
And also, you don't have that thing which really annoys me in films, where characters who should know something are being told something that they should realistically already know it. That's the first 20
minutes of Last Crusade.
No, I know, but that's what we said, didn't we? The exposition in the first part.
But that goes to show the difference in how you can handle the same thing.
Because the characters don't know this already, so they're being told it as we're being told it. It shouldn't be where they're being told, oh, well, this is what a dinosaur is, and you're just like, but that's being told for our benefit. Dr. Grant doesn't need to be told what a dinosaur is. He already knows. But handled fantastically.
And to use it as a device where it's an actual ride for people going to Jurassic Park, very clever that.
Very clever.
How can I fucking portray that to the audience? I'll pretend that they're the actual audience on the ride, and how do you do that in an informative, snappy way? So I'm giving you information dump.
It works so
perfect.
Well. 10 out of 10, that
clever.
scene.
Really
10
clever.
out of 10.
Really clever.
Love it to bits. Love it to bits, that scene.
All the cast are decent.
I was going to praise every single member of this cast for something.
They're all decent, mate. They're all decent.
I think Sam Neill.
I think the only chink in the armour is some of Laura Dern's delivery. And that's it. I'm not even scratching the armour there. I'm just going observation.
I didn't even really pick up on that. What I did like about all of the characters, all of them have got something to do. Nobody is wasted at all. There isn't and because sometimes, especially with a big ensemble piece like this.
Well, the only apart from fucking the lawyer getting fucking.
No, but the point of his character is to get to be a Weasley prick. That's the point of his character. He gets eaten, I wrote. He's funny as shit when he gets eaten. Well, he's sat on though.
I know.
It is funny. It's dead funny.
Malcolm gets twatted by the T-Rex.
He does get twatted because he stupidly we don't normally get into nitpicky like plot bollocks.
No.
In this, but it's always bugged me. Why the fuck does he get out? Right, Ian Grant gets out.
Don't move.
Do you know what I mean? Dr. Grant, don't move. Stay in there. Here, distracted T-Rex. Flung it over there. T-Rex.
And as soon as he looks at the flare, he clocks the other one.
Yeah. Grant immediately right, I've thrown T-Rex over there. I'm going to get the kids. Fine, makes perfect sense. Ian Malcolm, hey, I'll do another one. Why? What for?
Why?
What for? T-Rex is fucked off over there, and T-Rex immediately looks at him and like, oh, all right, I'll chase you then.
I'm gonna get you then.
I'll chase you then.
What a dick!
Stupid prick.
But he's my favourite character in it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
He always has been. Yeah. Again, because they give him the lines that he's going. He's the censor going. What the? And especially that's a really good scene, mate, where they're all around the table.
Yeah. It's so good.
Really
Once again, exposition doing its job perfectly, because they would always the characters would be discussing this.
Exactly.
That's what they've been brought to do.
And even at that point, he's still thinking, "Look what I've created."
I've put Ian Malcolm there, Jeff Goldblum's character. He is voicing the main theme of the movie, which is you cannot control nature.
Yeah.
Life will find a way.
That's it.
That he literally goes, boom.
Chaos theory.
Yeah, there's the theme of the film. That's what it's about.
Yeah, he even says life finds a way. He has all the
iconic.
Yeah, he does.
Those iconic lines.
Yeah. He's my favourite character.
He's one of mine, and I am a big fan of Sam Neill's character because he's not so he's nothing like your traditional hero in the sense of like your big grand heroics, if you know what I mean.
He's just a normal guy.
He's just a normal guy, and he's thrown into this situation. And I also appreciate that he doesn't particularly like kids, but he doesn't want anything to happen to these poor kids while he's got them.
Yeah, I think that's his character arc, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what I mean? He's very well done. I think all the characters are really well done. But I think my standout favourite is actually John Hammond, Richard Attenborough's character, because as it goes on, you can see him. Right, he's for ages like, no, I've done the right thing, and finally,
why can't you see the wonder of what I've done? And then when he eventually goes, I've done the wrong thing again.
Where literally Laura Dern's character has to go, John, they're out there and people are dying, and it's literally dawns on him, and
again,
you know what I mean?
Look what I've done.
It goes from look what I've done to
amazing, isn't it? Yeah, look what I've done. I've created something.
I've created a monster, literally. And it just kind of shows to me, because you follow along with him all the time, and that character could have easily, so easily, tipped into shit villain territory, and it doesn't, because it's done so well in Richard Attenborough's hands.
Yeah,
he's a great actor. Is Richard Attenborough? Like he's one of the great actors who I always think of.
And again, I think it's a shame that because people of maybe the generation after us, like, are not aware of his body of work, or
not at all.
They only give a shit about the actors that are out now and the bullshit that we watch.
But he's a fantastic actor.
Great.
Who really deserves nowadays a few more flowers than he gets. Does the late.
Played a serial killer though. 10
Rillington Place.
Yeah,
he's good in that.
Yeah, menacing me.
Menacing is horrible in that. It's bad man in that. But he directed that Gandhi film, didn't he, as well?
Did he direct Gandhi?
He directed Gandhi. He did direct Gandhi.
Ben
Kingsley. Yeah.
I haven't seen
decent film, but long, but decent film. Yeah. Anyway, that's not. We're not on about Richard Attenborough's directorial career.
The film is definitely it has that juxtaposition throughout. You know, the sense of look what I've done to going, shit, look what I've done.
But I think we've got to talk about specifically a few of the set pieces.
Yeah. Again, you know, it kicks off literally on the hour mark because it's a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
The T-Rex gets out of that paddock. What a fucking scene!
Right,
wow.
The whole thing. There's this growing sense of dread throughout it. The rain
again, see the escalation in the set piece.
Rain absolutely slanging down, and then just the
poor goat.
The goat. Where's the goat?
Where's the goat?
Where's the goat? And like falls on.
Yeah, the leg falls on the roof.
And then you see it slowly at first, just its head
through the
trees, and then it pulling down the
tension, the terror,
building until this fucking thing steps out, and it is an absolute fucking monster. And I have to say, despite it being over 30 years ago, that T-Rex stepping out of that thing holds up with any piece of CGI animation today.
So, although dated, the CG and the computer-generated imagery of the dinosaurs and the fucking animatronics hold up today.
They hold up today.
They really do. You know they're older, you can tell.
You can tell it's
literally,
older.
You're in the film, you're accepting it.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong looking with it.
Not at all. It's still holds up.
That scene where the T-Rex steps out, it's still, I think, one of the most visually thrilling introductions to a monster movie scene
100%.
that there has ever been.
100%.
Ever been. It's iconic. It's thrilling. It's exciting. It's scary.
Mate, the tension and terror builds. It builds.
And even during this scene, they're giving us important information. Can't see if you don't move.
Yeah.
can't see if you don't. His vision is based on movement.
Yeah.
Even then, they're giving you important information. So good, so fantastic.
But then it just again the whole film is just about escalation. Then after that, because you get the car in the tree,
the car chase, again, wonderful car chase.
But that could no. But then then this is where they get split up. Then isn't it? This is the point where the film splits up for its next hour. So then you get the car in the tree where Dr. Grant is with the kids.
Yeah.
And then you get the T-Rex chase where it's Malcolm and it's fucking
Ellie and Muldoon.
Yeah, the fucking
the zookeeper.
The zookeeper guy. Yeah. Then after that you get the Gallimimus herd.
Yeah.
Then after that you get the whole raptors.
And then we're turning the power back on with the hunt.
Well, that's it. The power reset the raptors. Then that's following Ella and Dr. Malcolm and Hammond. Yeah. And then you go back to Grant and the kids with the electric fence again. Yeah. Each scene's tension. Terror.
New problem.
Yeah, exactly.
New problem. New solution. New problem. New
and then that follows
on tying into each other as
and then they get back to
the visitor centre.
The visitor centre. Then you've got the kitchen raptors.
That's the one where we need to talk about in a bit more in depth. That kitchen scene. There is nothing else like it that I can think of.
And do you know what's good about it? It's because it's kids in terror. Kids in peril.
Yeah,
they're in terror.
They're in real peril. Yeah. For this as well.
Raptors opens the door. He opens the door.
They must have figured out how to open doors, and they do. They do.
Well, they tested the fences.
And it's so good. I think that kitchen scene is one of the best pieces of suspenseful cinema that I've seen.
I don't think any of these set pieces, again, there's more to come, that each one of them is iconic.
Each one of them are iconic.
I think it genuinely is iconic.
Yeah, I would very much agree. They're just perfectly structured pieces.
Because then the raptors hunt them. Then they're on the hunt now.
They are hunting after them. And they're not just after any old people. They're after them. Yeah. Specifically.
Yeah.
And you can feel that. The raptors, by the way, are the true villains of.
The big bad. They are the bad.
They are the bad guy. They are the bad guy.
Because there's no such villain as such, but they are.
They built them up right from the beginning. They're the shooter scene.
Yeah, the credits.
And then they kill Muldoon, clever girl.
Oh, what a line.
Clever girl. Right. And he gets her, because that whole hunt was so fantastic as well. Run. Why?
Yeah.
Because we're being hunted.
Yeah.
It's all right. Run to the...
And do you know what was really, really nice little sinister bit?
Yeah.
After he's like, clever girl... It's just a shot of the raptor's eye, on just next to like a log and a bit of foliage over like its head. Like, ooh, these are clever fuckers. These,
and they're after,
yeah. And obviously, after the hunt leads to where they're just about to get them in the foyer of the visitor centre. Yeah. T-Rex comes in and saves the day, basically.
Yeah. In an iconic scene.
Banner falls, T-Rex screams, good night, sweetheart, credits. Blown away.
Yeah.
What the fuck have I just seen?
I know, and I genuinely... I've seen this film so many times.
It's your favourite film, though?
It is my favourite film, and I love it. I love it on the basic sense that it's got dinosaurs in it, and I'm like that.
Huge fan.
But big fan of a dinosaur, me. But also, I just think from beginning to end, it's a genuinely thrilling film which uses its time so well. And is well acted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And again, I really like the theme of, the first half is it's a wonder, wow. And then when it goes to shit, this is really bad.
Yeah.
This is I shouldn't have done this. I regret doing it.
Yeah.
And sense of danger. Sense of wonder and a sense of danger in equal measure in all over this film. All over this
to,
film.
Yeah, it's almost like hammering home as well that you can have the wonderment, but that comes with danger, and it's a real life lesson. I think for the audience where it's like things come at a price, so be careful what you wish for.
That is what it is.
Do you know what I mean? And don't try to control things that can't control.
Chaos
are beyond your control. You can't control nature.
Especially when they're big fucking bastards that want to eat you.
Yeah. So shall we just quickly talk about Legacy?
Yeah.
I think that's
obviously everyone knows that there were sequels later. Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park 3.
Right.
I'm not mad at them.
I'm not mad at them. A lot of people are mad at Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. But I'm not mad at them.
I'd have those over the fucking Jurassic World.
We'll come to them in a sec. But I think the main problem with them is that you did everything serious that you could do that's new and fresh with the dinosaur film. You did it in Jurassic Park. There's nothing else you can really do, so you just get progressively stupid. You're on the escalator of progressive stupidity.
You're trying to outdo the last one.
You're just trying to outdo it. So I've no problem with Lost World at all.
Not at all.
And I've a few issues with the third Jurassic Park, but I've a soft spot for it.
I do.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's the worst film.
No.
But those sequels, Jurassic World, I think they can get in the bin.
They're bad.
They are bad. And this is not just one of those, every new instalment of a new thing is bound to be shit.
How are they making another one, Mark? How have they got another one going?
They're really not good films. The first Jurassic World is just about passable as a film.
It was trying to do what The Force Awakens did for New Hope.
I know.
It's
Jurassic Park
exactly,
again. There's no fundamental difference in the stories at all.
Requel.
It's a requel.
It's a requel.
But from then, the stories just get weirder and weirder and wilder and wilder, until the last one where there's a horde of prehistoric insects that are going to eat everything.
Yeah.
But somehow there's also dinosaurs everywhere, and the whole gang's back. These fucking. If they didn't get eaten in this film, they're back again.
Apart from the kids.
Kids.
And Hammond, he's dead in real life, you know.
Yeah. Well, get rid.
He was killed by death.
Yeah, he killed him dead.
That's what I read.
But they're just so ill-conceived and just obviously a cash grab.
The problem is when the first one made that much money and is so iconic, it's like what the Indiana Jones thing did, you know. It's like what the Ghostbusters thing did, you know. It's the logo is just as recognisable as Pepsi, Coke, Apple, IBM.
Park, you've got to just carry on making.
It's just, and you can put that on fucking, and they did, and they're still doing it. They can put that logo on anything, anything, to be associated with that,
and then it'll sell. It'll make money. Then
it's another again. It's an IP. It's just that everything now is an IP, mate.
As we discussed on the pod, State of Cinema,
guys.
But I think it's still now. I think Universal's only main big IP that they've got.
They do the Minions films and stuff. They release them.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's what made them still quite relevant as a studio.
I guess so. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, so without dwelling on the ill-conceived catastrophe that are the Jurassic World films.
Shite.
What did you think of this? Sum up your thoughts and feelings on this film, because I'm going to wait for you to go first.
I think because, you know, and I do recognise it as such an iconic film with a lot of iconic imagery from it, you know, with the score, and obviously the whole CG thing and bringing dinosaurs to life. And again, you know, like I said to you at the top of the shot, mate, I realised the theme of the whole thing was a sense of wonder juxtaposed with a sense of danger. Really clever. I thought that was really, really clever. And again, I wouldn't have, if we didn't do this for the show.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't be any rush to watch it again. Not like I don't like it. I mean, I think it's an absolutely amazing film. But yeah, I took a lot away from it this time
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
So what are we rating? Are we giving it a rating like we normally do? I'd say it's a 9 all day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I say, I love and adore this film. I come back to it all the time. I love it to death. I've watched it more times than Soft Mick. Do you know what I mean? It's not a flawless film. I recognise it's not a flawless film. And as people said at the time, its plot might be a little bit on the straightforward side.
The
Do you know what I
script
mean?
does its job.
The script does its job. The dialogue can be a little bit like on the nose. Boop,
yeah,
boop,
but
boop
that's
on
okay.
the nose. I didn't initially think that. I've never thought this, but I watched a thing on YouTube and I now agree with it. I would have liked to see a bit more of the island so I could get more of a sense of the geography of the place. Where are they in relation to each other? And you can do that quite easily with better establishing shots of the actual island.
Yeah, all right, okay.
But it's a small criticism, and I'm looking for things to criticise about it.
Well, that's
which is fine. But for me, this is still a 9 of a film all day.
All day.
It's I will give it a 10, but like I've said before, I don't always think unless it is. I've found it flawless at the thing. I don't think you can realistically give a 10, but I think that this is a 9 of a film all day.
It can't be any lower, Mark. It can't be any lower. Let's be realistic.
It's iconic and it's thrilling. It's occasionally scary. It's sometimes.
But again, it was a cultural phenomenon. It was a movie phenomenon in terms of the impact it had on the industry.
It had an impact outside of the industry. An entire generation of people became interested in paleontology and dinosaurs and the past in general. And as someone who is obsessed with history and indeed paleontology, I thank this film a lot.
It did,
because it's brought an entire generation of people to the fore to thinking about the Earth's past and what was on it before.
And to do that,
in a 2-hour film, I still think is an extraordinary piece of cinema.
Yeah,
it deserves its cult status.
It does. It really, really does.
Yeah,
like you say, to not only impact the film industry, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
a whole an
entire generation
made them interested in paleontology and dinosaurs.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think that's a really good place to end it. Actually, it's really good. It's. So go, if again, guys, how have you not seen it? If you've not seen this, guys,
I think everyone's seen it.
You've got everyone.
You all have seen it.
And if you've not, you've been in for a treat.
Because if you've not, sit down together with a bunch of your friends and put Jurassic Park on, and I swear to God, you won't feel like you've wasted your time.
Not at all.
Because that's what I think the magic of a film is sometimes, that you sit down and you watch it and you've realistically achieved nothing. You've
gone on a roller coaster though.
You've gone through a story and it's a really good story.
And it's got dinosaurs in it.
It's got fucking dinosaurs in it. So it's a 10. All right.
So thanks for joining us, guys, on our part 1 of our redux of our pilot episode.
Redux redo. So you can listen to this one now.
Yeah. And we'll be back with part 2. So see you there.
In a bit, Skin.